Hey guys, today I've got Richard with me here.
Hello, everyone.
Richard is one of the lead software developers at Dev Center House, and he's an absolute machine running like crazy. So, and on the top of a fitness, we're like, okay, let's talk about the importance of fitness. You know, if you're a working professional, working, you know, in a job that you're sitting in front of the computer like us. We're sitting in front of the computer at least 10 to 14 hours, I'd say.
Yep. True.
Most days, I would say, not 7 days, but almost. So the importance of fitness, right? So what are some of the things to really improve your, you know, your mental health, your productivity, and so then making work just more enjoyable, right?
Right.
And maybe we can share some of our personal stories here, you know, from the perspective of running, you know, how running had such a big impact. The things like we're just talking about this, I just made a shake this morning, and you know, we've got like, you know, protein shakers in the office, you know, a blender to
Use
just
it all
like
the time.
just, you know, there's some basic things like, you know, you don't put chocolate and stuff in the office, instead put like some protein powder, some bananas, and let people make some shakes.
Yep.
And some things that was very beneficial. And I think for you guys, you know, like we implemented, you know, basically 1 hour fitness per day, right? So 1 hour per day that you have the option to go for, pretty much go to the gym. Now, if you are, you know, working professional, what impact would it have for you to run? I think maybe just share like our stories. Like from my perspective is, you know, I like running from the perspective of the way that I think.
Right.
The way that I feel afterwards, and the whole energy that I get throughout the day, which is a very important flow. And I know we all really busy in a day working, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, how can we build a structure that is sustainable, that I can do it for the next 20, 30, 50 years if I want to? And a very easiest one that I found was that, look, you know, let's make sure we cover the basics, that you try to make your fitness as frictionless as possible. So then you could, you know, have the gym that nearby, or perhaps have your just running gear with you when you go to the office.
Right.
So make the process more easy. That's basic stuff. Okay. Now, how much should you do fitness? That has like key benefits that at least I found personally. For me, having 20-minute run per day and a 20-minute push, like any sort of push that you would do, I feel like this gives me in a very nice state, and which, because the goal is so small that I can hit it every day. And 20 minutes run, you could do a 20-minute active cardio. So as simple as you get to the office, get there a little bit early, do a fast walk around the office, you know, and that is your active cardio. You come back in the office, and if you're not in the gym, if you're in the gym, of course, easier. Do some push-ups, do some pull-ups, do something, some sort of active exercise that you're pushing your heartbeat up, and that alone gonna put you in a different state, you know?
Yes.
So for me, just doing that has really gives me a benefit of being able to, you know, sustain working 12, 14 hour daily. And then, of course, if you want to get really in a good mood, do it another one in the evening or another one in the afternoon, like Richard. So maybe you could share some of your story from a running perspective. How do you find sort of, you know, fitting that in? How would that be beneficial for you as a senior software engineer?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'll start with one thing that I always hear, and I've also heard from, you know, some of my peers, and this one of the biggest excuses that I've heard that makes them not want to train is that they always feel tired, and they say, "Oh, I work so hard, and I'm tired by the end of the day. My mental, my physical, I'm exhausted, and I can't imagine adding fitness to that." The reality is, you're actually tired because you're not exercising. You do not have the capacity to go through the day with high energy if you're not training, and that's really important. Is that when you train, and this is something I've personally felt, is you increase your capacity in overall. So energy levels, mental clarity, reduced anxiety, and you're able to go throughout the day a lot more productively. Also, your mood goes up, and it's like you're overall more positive about things day to day. you tackle problems with a lot better mental approach, you know. So from my perspective, the physical and mental aspect of who you are very connected. And if one is out of balance, it will impact the other. So that means that if you are struggling with any, let's say, you know, the normal things that we all go through life, stress, anxiety, you know, mental fatigue of doing things day to day, you know, try focus a little bit more on the body side of things. And I can guarantee you that a lot of the, you know, problems that we face overall get improved simply by doing something like a 20-minute run, like you mentioned. And that's something that I definitely experienced, and I highly recommend to anybody. If you're sitting every day, you know, 9 to 5 or how many hours, long hours sitting on the computer screen, you know, what I used to do, which maybe not everybody is up for it, but on my breaks, I would actually go train rather than, you know, go sit down and eat something. I would actually go and train, and that would fuel me and that would act as energy. It was almost like having a coffee, but it was true fitness, and it feels amazing. And when you go back into the office after that, you feel like your whole mental has reset and you're ready to go again with that same energy that you came into the day.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe also we can touch base a little bit on like the type of fitness you could do. Like what has been like for us running, like we really took running in the company, at a company. And I think as a leader, you know, if you're a manager, to encourage and, you know, push people and really help people in the company, you got to lead by example in all spheres, and fitness should be one of them. And if you as a leader, you know, able to do that, you're going to do so much justice, so much greatness for the people that's following you. Because, you know, a leader that is running, a leader that is fit, what's going to happen? The people around that person will also be the same. It's the same thing about, you know, the cognitive state. People work in our company, and what you learn in 2 years, or the volume that you are doing, it could be more than most companies that like doing it 5-6 years. Why?
Yep.
Because the bar is so high, like the standard is so high. It's just unacceptable if you are not meeting this.
Yes.
So what this gives, well, all of that amplifies when we work on products, building true amazing product. These products are getting built by this type of talent of people.
Yes.
So when we put ourselves like, hey, look, when we solve a problem, we want to make sure we solve a problem, but we want to make sure that problem, when it's solved, the solution is used, and then used by the user that's using it, and it's also the user willing to pay for it. So when we start think that, and this is a challenging things that we face every day.
True.
And having that mental strength with just running, it's a huge benefit. So I think, you know, the simplest thing would be to just, you know, join some running groups, right?
Yes.
Running groups are everywhere. No matter where we are, what city we're in, there's running groups everywhere. And even in our company, like we created our own little running groups, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you create your own company Slack channel, Teams account, Teams, and then just add the people, everybody inside that, or maybe one department inside it, departmentize it. And then that creates a momentum, you know, which would be really helpful. And I think with that, you know, there are a couple of things like this that you could do. Of course, if you're in the leadership, I think personally, I can share that, you know, giving ability for everybody to have access, gym membership, and 1 hour of the day, mandatory gym, mandatory. So minimum requirement is 4 times a week, right? If you cannot do 4 times a week, then you got to work instead. So you got to have a little bit push, because I think, you know, if you just leave it too open, then it definitely, you know, you got to set the standard. And I think showing by example is critical. And I think for me, knowing that, hey, look, this is something that's very important at a company level, and to really for everyone. So I will really encourage it to incorporate that, and it will make you so much happier and stronger person as a whole, and your company will benefit, and then your client will benefit. With that, guys, if you like this, subscribe to the channel and give us a comment back. All right, see you guys.
Bye-bye.